Good day, this is Esmery from Flourish Inside Out. On Tuesday morning I made a video about the umpire of peace that God gives us to settle in finality. If something is in, you've got peace, it's in. If you don't have peace, it's out. Later that day, my husband and myself busy with a transaction, and we've known this person we're doing the transaction with for a long time, but all of a sudden all these red flags come up. And I get this check after check in my spirit, and I'm like, Lord, I don't have peace, we can't do it. And we just have to stop it, because I just said it this morning, if I don't have peace, we can't go through with it. And I sit on the couch and I'm feeling so frustrated with myself. I'm like, should I have said it 3 times in the video? If it's peace, it's in. If there's no peace, it's out. And I sit there frustrated with my own gestures that I had to go at it 3 times. But there I said, no, I don't have peace. And that's it. Even though we want to go through with it, I don't have peace. Following morning we wake up and we had peace. Nothing's changed. None of the circumstances have changed. We just had peace. And then I asked the Lord, please confirm that this person that I'm working with is a legit person. Later that day we pay part of the transaction, and my phone app doesn't want to work, and I had to go into the bank. And as I sit in the bank waiting, I couldn't pay with my card either. There was an issue with the card payment that you select, and I had to see a teller. And I'm sitting there at the teller, and 8 tellers available in the bank, and you have to now wait for the next one that's available. And the next one that is available, I walk up to. She says, how can I help you? I say, I have to pay, for instance, Pia van der Merwe. And she goes, Pieter van der Merwe. And I'm like, yes. She goes, and she mentions the second name, Pieter Adrian van der Merwe. I'm like, yes. She goes, oh, that's a long-time client of mine here in the bank. Show her his ID. Yes, she says, that's him, and I've known him for a long time. And in that moment, I actually started crying, because that morning I asked the Lord, please prove to me, please send somebody to show me that this person is legitimate. And here in the bank, the teller actually confirms that she's known this person for a long time. So the amazing thing about this is, as I said the morning, I had the theoretical lesson, and the Lord gave me a lot of practice in that later the day to say, are you going to trust me? Even if it doesn't make sense the previous day, if I tell you not to go, I'm telling you not to go. And the next day, none of the circumstances changed. But the Lord said, I give you peace, so you can go ahead with it. My son even joked and said, if the transaction goes south, then we had to make a donation to the person, who knows. But it's the peace that guides us. And this morning I realized having the information to know what to do is only part of it. God says, I set before you life and death. Then you still have to choose life. I've always thought of it as crypt notes in an exam. You know, there's 2 answers, but I'm telling you, choose that one, choose life. So God sets before us life and death. So knowing what you have to choose and getting that answer from the Lord is the one thing. The next step is actually now to act on it. Because if you don't have peace, you should choose not to act on it. And if you have peace, you should still choose to act on it. And if you think about all the information in the Bible, all the wisdom and truth and knowledge that we have in the Bible, sin is not actually not knowing what we should do. It's actually choosing to not be obedient to God. So obedience is the key. If God tells you to do it, and if it doesn't make sense, do it. And if God tells you not to do it, and if it doesn't make sense, do it. And then I learned about Abram this morning, where God said to Abram, take your son and go offer him. And the very next morning he got up and did it. There was no phoning his friends. And I actually love to do that. There's a lot of my friends watching this that will know. I will phone them like a poll and say, listen, I felt the Lord said this. How do you feel about that? And it's actually just disobedience. If God told me to do it, it's not a poll. I can't go out like a democratic election and say 4 of my friends said yes, 2 of them said no, so okay, I'm going to go with yes. If God said it, that settles it. There used to be a saying that says, God said it, I believe it, and that settles it. I don't even have to believe it for it to be true. God said it. God said it. Now, obviously, sometimes God tells you things that doesn't make sense to you, and then you want to check with a friend. I understand that. But if you know your shepherd's voice, you will know when he's talking to you, and then choose to be obedient. Choose obedience. The blessing lies beyond that. Blessing follows obedience. Bless you.